All right. Thank you for joining in. We're about to kickstart up today's webinar, Maximizing Microsoft Copilot and SME Grants for Your Business. My name is Chelsea Gao. I'm the Customer Success Manager from Access Orange. I am in charge with coordinating the ESG grant related Copilot projects. So if you have any questions related to the SME grants or the Copilot, how to utilize it, feel free to let me know. Today, me and my colleague, Nero Wong, will be co-hosting the webinar. Nero is a Copilot guru. He will be demonstrating the day-to-day scenario applying Copilot to your enterprise. Before Nero's presentation, I'm going to give you a 3 minutes brief introduction about SME's grant for Copilot, and then follow with Nero's presentation. Then there will be a Q&A session. So before we start, today's content is conducted in the Teams meeting format. So we are very happy to have you here. So during the Q&A session, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, or you can leave your questions in the chat room during the presentation. And during the presentation, please keep yourself muted until the Q&A session. So with no further ado, allow me to introduce you the Singaporean SME grant. Many of you may have aware of this. Now, Singaporean government are providing up to 50% of subsidy to help Singapore SMEs to purchase Microsoft 365 Copilot to build AI capabilities. And we, Access Orange, are one of the assigned partners for this grant program. If you're interested in obtaining this grant, we will have a dedicated team to help you to adopt Microsoft Copilot and submitting the application for this grant. And you might ask, are you eligible and what is the sign-up period? Please keep in mind that the sign-up period is until November this year, and it is a first-come, first-served with limited spots. The grant support up to 50% of the Copilot licenses costs, capped at 50 supported licenses per company. What does it mean? It means each license means one company email account, so which can use Copilot under M365. And the M365 system is being issued under company purchased. For example, say you have purchased and gained the license and activate the license today on 4th of July, then you will gain access to Microsoft 365 Copilot for 1 year, which is until 4th of July, 2025. And how to apply for this grant? You might wonder if you are eligible for this grant. The eligibility is very simple. The eligibility SME should meet the requirements such as entity registered and operating in Singapore, has at least 30% of local equity held by Singaporeans, annual turnover not exceeding $100 million. You will need to submit a declaration form to state the above mentioned, and then you can ask me if you're not certain if you're eligible for this grant, and about how much it costs to obtain Copilot. Now it's only $243. And if you have any inquiries, you can ask me later. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause to Nero to start this Copilot presentation. And if you have any questions, you can ask anytime and leave your questions in the chat room.
Thank you, Chelsea. Hi, this is Nero. Thank you for joining this webinar today. For today's webinar, we are going to explore the cutting-edge capabilities of M365 Copilot and how it can transform the way you work. Imagine having a digital assistant that not only understands your needs, but also anticipates them, integrating seamlessly with the M365 apps you use every day. That's the power of Copilot. It's not just about connecting ChatGPT with M365. It's about leveraging the large language model with your data in the Microsoft Graph to turn your words into the most powerful productivity tools. Today, we'll dive into how Copilot for M365 can save your time, increase your efficiency, and help you focus on what truly matters. Whether it's drafting emails, creating presentations, or analyzing data, Copilot is here to evaluate and elevate your work experience. There's also a Q&A section as mentioned by Chelsea. You may raise your question before the end of the sharing. All right, let's get started. Before moving on to talk about what is Copilot in M365, let me bring you some basic information for the ChatGPT and Copilot. Well, I believe most of you should have experience using the ChatGPT. It's just like a auto-reply robot, like a chatbot, that when you key in the instruction, key in your questions, the ChatGPT will generate some response based on your instruction. While Microsoft Copilot is actually an AI-powered digital assistant that aims to provide personalized assistant that incorporate the function of ChatGPT into the AI system. It helps you to do a lot of different tasks. But Copilot doesn't just connect ChatGPT with the system and engine. It combines the power of the large language model, we call it LLMS, with your data in Microsoft Graph, including your calendar, emails, chats, document, meeting, and more. And the Microsoft 365 apps helps you to turn your words into more powerful and productivity tool on your basic daily task. So the major difference between both Copilot, the free version, and Copilot in M365 is that the former one is only limited to the work content. However, the Copilot in M365 is deeply integrated with Microsoft apps and services. It helps you to leverage your company data and the Microsoft Graph to provide a more personalized and work-centered assistant with Copilot M365. You can now work with your company data through Copilot in OneDrive and SharePoint. Just need to upload your document to your cloud system, and the Copilot in M365 will be able to access it and bring it on to bring all the elements together to work for you to increase your efficiency and productivity. With Copilot in M365, we can input our instruction to a different tool in Microsoft M365, including the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams to bring you different tasks to help you work a wide range of different daily tasks that you find it repetitive or you find it too time-consuming. And research also that Copilot in M365 helps to improve our work efficiency significantly in different aspects, like meeting content, email generation, content creation, content searching, etc. And in average, employee using Copilot saved 1 to 2 hours per day that they can truly put their focus on other more important tasks. It's stunning, right? Let's take a look at the key features and functions of Copilot in M365. For Copilot in Words, as you can see, we can actually input our instruction to the Copilot chatbots, and it helps us to generate any content from the website, or you can take reference from your existing document to make something relevant to what you are going to generate. Or you can just ask Copilot to grab the data from the internet to help you create a new brand document. For example, like your presentation, like your speech, like your sharing or client sales pitch, etc. You can do a lot of things with Copilot in Words. And Copilot in Excel, you can ask Copilot to help you do the summary, or you can just ask Copilot to help you get insight from a wide range of data. Previously, we need to do is just walk through all the content, walk through all the data, and generate all the graph, insight, or summary based on the data. But now we can ask Copilot to do the thing for us. And we can also ask Copilot to help us sort different data from the data sheets. And I will show you one by one later in the demo section. For Copilot in PowerPoint, it helps us to generate a brand new presentation PowerPoint from the beginning, from zero. For the beginning, what we need to generate a presentation, we need to search all the content from the internet, from the website, or from different source. From our document, we need to copy and paste all the content to the new presentation. But right now, we need to ask Copilot to help us do it. Rather, no need to search by ourselves, and no need to do the copy and paste task. And we can also ask Copilot to help us reformulate the content and also the format, and do the summary, and also ask Copilot to generate to do the animation based on the presentation. We can add a lot of things there. For Copilot in Outlook, we can ask Copilot to help us generate a new email reply based on the context from the sender. So they match the recipient based on the tone. We can ask Copilot to guide us how to better write a appropriate email to reply to the sender. And we can also ask Copilot to summarize the lengthy content from the email. And I will show you this function one by one later. So Copilot in Teams, actually I will describe Copilot in Teams is like a personal assistant. As you can see, you can key in your instruction on the chat box in the Teams, and you can ask Copilot to find out the content that you're looking for, like the meeting, what you need to prepare, the participant who will be joining the meeting, or even you can ask Copilot to help you do the comparison. For example, you are HR department, you need to hire a person with specific positions, and you have a lot of maybe like 3 to 4 CV in your hand. You can ask Copilot to compare this CV to help you find out the best candidate for the position. And you can do a lot more than that. And I will show you later on the demo side. Last but not least, you can also ask Copilot to help you do the summary in the Teams meeting. In the beginning, what we used to do for the note taking is we ask our admin staff to help us do note taking, right? But right now, there's a function in Copilot function in the Teams meeting that you need to just record the meeting and do the transcript, and you can ask Copilot to help you do the summary, and you can ask Copilot even to help you find out what's the key discussion point, what is the follow-up action item that you need to follow up after the meeting, etc. And I will show you later as well. So right now, let me do the demo one by one. Maybe starting from the Outlook first. Let me show my screen first. All right, so as you can see right now, here is my Copilot Outlook that with Copilot license here. And right now, and you can see that, this, for example, like this email is too lengthy. I believe most of you should have the similar situation as I do. For example, like after a long holiday, there must be a different kind of email sent to your mailbox, right? And you need to run through one by one. But with Copilot right now, you can just ask Copilot to help you do a lot of different tasks, like the summarize. As you can see, there is a summarize button right here. When I click the summarize button, and Copilot will be able to help me screen through this email to check whether this email need my action item, whether this email has something I need to do, need to follow up, or the main content it will outline for me so that I don't need to walk through all the email one by one. And this is the first function for Copilot in Outlook. The second function I want to introduce is the reply function. For example, if I need to reply to this demo complaint email, I click here, reply, and you will see there is a Copilot button on the top ribbon here. When I click here, and there are two main functions in Copilot Outlook. The first is draft with Copilot. When I click here, I can type anything I want Copilot to help us do. For example, I just need Copilot to help me generate the reply based on the context of this complaint email. I can just ask, please draft a reply email to him, for example, to him, let's say. And I can also click adjust button here, and you can see that you can also change the tone. For example, like I want to make it more formal, casual, or even make it like a poem. And you can make it the length, short, medium, and long. For example, this time I want to make it a medium reply message, and then I just click generate. And Copilot will start generate a new fresh reply for me based on the sender, the message that I need to reply for this complaint. And you can see within like 10 seconds, Copilot just generate a whole brand new reply for me. And I can just, if I like it, I can just keep it, or I can just maybe just reply and just draft a reply email to him, or maybe just regenerate again as well. And it's easy. I don't need to write too much letter. It helped me to generate. For example, I want to generate another one. So let's see if there any better version. All right. So this is the one that right now. So what I can do is I can keep it. I can just, where's the keep button? All right. There's a missing button there, but actually there's a button that I can regenerate or adjust it, but maybe there's some technical issue I will test maybe later. And the third function, let me introduce you, is the one that I can use. For example, I reply again, and there's a function called coaching by Copilot. I can actually ask Copilot to guide me how I can write a better email. For example, there's a template already prepared. This template is for this client. I can just copy and paste here. All right, and then I click again and ask Copilot to generate the feedback for me. And Copilot will then screen through my message and help me to think about what I can do better based on the existing email. It will help me screen through 3 different perspectives, like the tone, the sentiment, and also the structure of my email, and give me some recommendation for me to guide how I can better write this email. For example, you can see there's a tone issue, like what wording I should use, the reader sentiment, and also the clarity, whether my email is right structure, or I can make some improvement there. I can ask Copilot to regenerate again to come up with more structure and more suitable wording based on this email. So this is the basic function, and I think I can say it's very effective function to help me save a lot of time in replying some standard email, standard inquiry. So the second thing I want to show you is the Microsoft Word, the Copilot in Word. What I can do is, for example, I start create a new Word document here, and then open it. All right. Right now you can see with Copilot license, there's a 2 new button right here. The first one is here, the Copilot button, and the other one is right on the top here. Actually, they are actually the same. I can just click here and ask Copilot to generate a brand new content for me. For example, I need to do a presentation about the internal presentation based on some key performance index, some key KPI things. I can ask Copilot to generate. For example, help me generate the KPI presentation for internal. I can just ask Copilot directly to help me get the data from the internet, or I can just reference some of existing document. For example, I have a document already created called the KPI document last month. I want to take reference from that Word document. I can just press slash or just reference a file here, and I can just key in some relevant wording like the KPI, and he will help me to search whether there is a relevant document here. And I click here and click generate. It will then screen through my document and come up with to find out whether those documents, the data, the information is relevant to what I'm going to generate. And as you can see, it start generating based on the document I just taking reference from, and some CSAT, NPS, a lot of things. I can ask Copilot to keep generating for me. And even if I don't like it, I can just ask Copilot to stop, and I can make some changes, like make it like more formal, make it more professional, or I can just ask Copilot to add some data, some referencing idea, so that I need to convince my supervisor or convince my other department employee to come up with better solution, etc. I can always input my further instruction to make it like the desired version that I wanted to make. So it's very powerful. And the other function is as well, it's similar to the Copilot in Outlook. I can ask Copilot to help me to come up with some summary. For example, I can ask Copilot to summarize this document, and Copilot will help me to generate some key idea based on the content of this document. It's easy for you to just walk through all the lengthy content there. So I just maybe show you what it will show. So again, as you can see, it just generates just a single point, the single core ideas from this document, rather than need to screen for all the document here. So I just maybe the functions right here. The next function I want to demonstrate for Copilot in M365 is the PowerPoint. I think it's one of the most powerful function in Copilot M365. When I need to use the Copilot in PowerPoint, I just need to open a new brand presentation PowerPoint. Then I can just open it. All right, as you can see, it's a brand new presentation, right? What I can do is I can ask Copilot right here to help me generate a presentation within 60 seconds, depending on the topic or how difficult, how comprehensive your presentation that is. For example, I can ask Copilot to help me generate a presentation about, let's say I want to generate a presentation about a financial presentation for a sales department. I can just send it out, or I can also taking reference from some of my existing document. For example, I have a already created document, maybe this one. I can just key in and then send out, and Copilot will help to screen through document the content and come up with a brand new and professional presentation deck. And just give it a few seconds, it will come up with a very pretty presentation slide, and even prettier than my version, I can say, because the presentation slide is already filled with some animation there, and also it's very structured with some bullet points, some presentation content there, and it will, you can see, it will walk through your content there based on the referencing document, and then start to draft a presentation deck. Because this document is quite lengthy, so I think it may take more time to generate a new slide. But usually I generate like 20 seconds. Within 20 seconds, it will come up with a brand new presentation PowerPoint. Just 82%, just wait a few more seconds. And you can see there's different bullet points highlighting all the core content from the document. You put it here. Oh, there's some confidential issue based on this document, but it's okay that I can just show you some slide. Right now, it's not so because there's some confidential issue there. Maybe I generate another one so that you can take a look how pretty it is. For example, I want to ask Copilot to generate another presentation relating to create a presentation. I can ask create a presentation about family. Let's say family is easier. And it will ask me whether I want to replay this existing version. And I can just press yes, it will be good enough. Okay, yes, please. Okay. You're looking things over. And apart from generating a new presentation, you can also make changes based on the existing content, like the format. You can add some bullet point. You can ask Copilot to generate a single images, or you can just ask Copilot to generate just a single slide, right? As you can see, it's pretty beautiful, right? And with animation, some points about family, some overview what is family, is already very pretty, right? With some attractive images there. And yeah, it's very good already. It's 12 slide here. I think it's very powerful. And I think I said you can just click here, view prompts. You can ask Copilot to do further action for you, like understand this PowerPoint as well. Show some action item from this PowerPoint, or maybe just make some edit, maybe add some images there, or we can reorganize this presentation based on the audience you are going to present. So it is very powerful, and I will leave the content, leave the function that you can just explore more by yourself. So another function I want to show you is the the Copilot in Excel. So here is an existing Excel document, and I'm going to show you some demonstration here. All right. When I open it, you can see there are different category of the data, like office course and some marketing course, right? What Copilot can do is I can just open Copilot right here, and I want Copilot to help me do some summary. I want to find out this office course and insight from this different role. So I can ask just highlight it. I can ask Copilot to do some maybe some add some formula. I can highlight. I can have a Copilot to sort or filter or analyze. The basic function is just ask Copilot to show some data insight from this highlighted rows, and it will help me to screen through this content first and come up with some core ideas based on these columns. And just give it a few seconds to analyze and digest all the data content, and we'll come up with some graph for better presentation of you. Like this one, of course, telephone has a noticeable lower in March. And if you are not looking for this data, you can just ask about to generate another insight as well. And it will keep generating different insight until the one that you are looking for. Or maybe you can just key in your instruction like here. For example, I want to ask Copilot whether this electric item has any significant number in several months or in a single month. You can just ask Copilot to do so. When the content and the result is generated, you can just click add to a new sheet, and then it will be here. And you can just click here, and the pivot chart fields will be open, and you can just make some modification based on the thing you want to present, like June, July, etc. It's very easy, right? Or maybe you can just go back to here, and you can also ask Copilot to help you do the more different words. For example, I want Copilot to help me highlight those numbers with negative value. I can ask Copilot to help me highlight highlights items with negative values. And Copilot will help me to do this task, and I no longer need to highlight myself one by one. And it will just walk through all the data right here, and I can just click apply. This formula will be applied to this sheet. Right? Very clear, right? All the negative number will be highlighted. It's very easy and functional. And there, of course, there are further functions that you can take a look from this book icon, like to further understand the content, like do the sorting, or you can just add formula for better screening, etc. So I think it's still evolving. But one thing you have to be reminded that if you want to use the Copilot in the Excel format, you have to open this auto save button. Otherwise, it will show some error message that is unable to use the Copilot in Copilot Excel, right? All right, so last but not least, let me show you how you can use the Copilot function in your chat area. So when you have Copilot license, there should be a Copilot in your chat here, or there's also right here, the Copilot button here. Both are the same. And what you can do is ask Copilot to do anything for you. For example, I can ask Copilot to help me screen whether there's any meeting for the coming weeks that I need to join. So I can just type what are the meetings that I need to join next week, and who will be the participant, who will not join. And I can ask for more detailed information so that for those, for example, some CEO, some senior management, or a higher senior level employee, you should have a lot of different meetings that relating to you, like some projects. You can ask Copilot to help you summarize all the key content, relevant information for you to have a better preparation, like to do the grading, to do some further analysis, to do some before work, so that you have better preparation before all the meetings come up. All right, you can see there are different meetings I need to join and who will be joining and 7 more. And I can also ask further follow-up question, like for this one, what are 7 others people will join? What is the meeting about? I can also ask further question. And also I want to show you another example. I think it's very powerful that I can ask Copilot in Teams to help me to do the comparison for different documents. For example, the example I just mentioned that imagine I'm an HR department head. I need to hire a person, a customer success manager as well. And there are 2 different CV in my hand right now. So I can ask Copilot to help me to compare who is the better candidate. For example, I am hiring a customer success manager, and please compare both. I want Copilot to help me compare 2 different series so that I can pick a better candidate. I can, again, just press / and find out the document I want to take reference from. For example, I have uploaded my CV already. This one is mine. And I also another demo one. It's called this Charlie Learn, and I can ask Copilot to help me compare and select a better candidate. And then Copilot will help me to, again, screen through both content. I can also add more, maybe like 3 to 4 or even 5 more documents to ask Copilot to do the comparison for me. You can also apply this function to different tasks, like you need to compare 2 different documents at the same time, and you don't want to screen through all the lengthy content to spot the differences, the minor differences from both contents. Then you can ask Copilot to do so for you. For example, like this, Copilot will list out all the relevant content that I want to select a better candidate as a customer success manager. And Copilot will help me to summary and do the comparison accordingly and come up that, oh, I'm a better candidate for this position, and because the reason is he, blah, 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 etc. And so this is the one of the core function, and I show you. And last but not least, let me show you another final powerful function in Copilot that we can apply in our teams. So, all right. Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll keep presenting. All right. Okay. So Copilot, there's another function called right here, the Copilot in Teams. When I open the Copilot in Teams, I can ask Copilot to generate some follow-up action based on the current meeting, what we have been discussing, what are the points that we have mentioned, and also maybe like generate some meeting notes. For example, I want to do some recap with Copilot function. I can just press, just key in the recap instruction, and Copilot will help me to analyze and summarize all the speaking from different parties, from different member of this meeting. And you can see here is the recap based on the current speech we have just shared. They will highlight different points. Chelsea have mentioned something, and I demonstrate some features and function, blah, blah, blah. And you do not need to, again, ask another admin staff to sit in, to mark the meeting logs for you. I think it's more efficient because Copilot will never miss the key point and key idea, but some of we are human, we make mistake, right? So we can ask Copilot to do this for us and reduce the possibility of missing any important things. And I can also ask Copilot to maybe just list some action items that we need to follow up based on the discussion we had so far. But right now, because I think just Chelsea and I have shared some content, so there should not be any important follow-up right now, but just a demonstration to show you how effective, how powerful this function is. But one thing you need to keep in mind that if you want to enable this function in Copilot in Teams meeting, what you need to do is remember to open the More button, and there is a record and transcript button right here. You have to start record and also start the transcription. And when I start the transcription, as you can see, it will just list out all the speaking I just mentioned so that people will, you can just, Copilot will be able to analyze those content accordingly. And you can also change the language, not only limited to English, but if you want to speak in like Cantonese or maybe just in Mandarin, it's also support. So don't worry that you want to speak in maybe Japanese and other languages. It also support like 52 languages. So I think it's good enough to cover most of the language in the world. All right, so I think this is pretty much about the Copilot function today gonna cover. And before the end of this section, let me show you some another application that you can make use of Copilot. Okay. Okay, wait a second. Let me go to the slide that about the another application you can take reference to. For example, the HR, the marketing, sales, IT, and finance. I believe there must be different tasks that you can just apply to different position, like you do drafting email, help you to create a content, create some different content, presentation, to analyze, to do summary, to get insight from different data, and just come up with different ideas. You can also ask Copilot to do so. So I hope this sharing helps you to have better idea and better concept of what Copilot can really do and help you to do to increase your productivity and efficiency. So here's the price information as mentioned by Chelsea. There should be some subsidy from Singapore government. So for the further information, you can just reach us and we can provide more information and help you do the setting as well. And thank you for joining this webinar today. And here we come to the Q&A section. If you have any question you want to further get to know more, please let me know so that I can maybe check together.
Yes, Nero, thank you for the great presentations. Very thorough and very informative. I learned a lot. And there is a question from Di Feng Wei asked about are the stock images that are generated free to use without any copyright issues?
Okay, let me take a look.
So the photos like generated through the presentation slides through PowerPoint, they are like copyright issues free?
I need to further verify for you, but right now there should be no any copyright issue because it will search based on the eligible search content from the internet based on the Microsoft engine. But I need to further verify whether is there any confidentiality or some confidential issue for the images. But right now, I think the image generated by the Copilot is you can just use it.
Right. To my knowledge, I think we can use a web version or the Word version, right? So the utilizes of the data is supposed to be like it can be choose. So for instance, like I am going to make a company introduction presentation, I can ask Copilot to utilize certain images, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. And another question from Johan, is it possible to link two sheets in Excel using Copilot?
All right. So right now, I think the current version is just limited to first, maybe just first sheet. But I haven't tried this before. But you can just try this out. I believe your question should be maybe like I need to maybe do the summary to ask Copilot to generate some insight from different sheets, and I can maybe just do the demonstration review together. Let's maybe just take a look to see whether it's possible to do so. And for example, just a quick demo here and see whether it's possible. For example, okay, right here, there should be this sheet, the expenses, and this actual expenses right here. I maybe try to again. So I highlight this two area, maybe just ask Copilot to do the get me some insight based on these two different sheets column, and whether it's possible to do so. Because I haven't tried this before, I believe there should be similar condition that you may be interested to know whether it's possible to come up with
Right.
result from two different sheets.
From my experiences, using Excel, applying Copilot, you have to use the keywords very accurately, right? You have to be very precise, or you you have to try it several times on
Right.
yeah,
Right. Otherwise, the result may not be generated. It will show
right.
some error message, and it seems that it's possible to generate in two different sheets here, but you can try maybe like 3 or 4 sheets together, whether it will come up with more desired outcome there. So hope this answer to your question. And
Thank you, Nero. And Ravi asked about the privacy issues,
privacy
like
issue. Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right, don't worry about this. Microsoft concerned this issue more than us, and I believe there should be you should have two different concerns from your question. The first concern is whether the internal staff from different departments will be able to access all the different confidential data or confidential document inside your company. And actually, you can just set some permission limitation with your IT department admin to, for example, set some sensitivity label to highlight, to categorize more sensitive content to just limit to certain people with permission to access. You can just do so to prevent this situation happen. And for the second concern is whether the outsider, the external people will be able to access those confidential the confidential data and content and some document. And don't worry about that. Microsoft has a guarantee that they will not use this data from the Copilot in M365 to train the AI model, and there's zero chance that the data will be leaked out. So you don't need to worry about that.
Right. And another thing is, for the internal use, you don't have to worry about people are going to see the confidential files. Like, I am not being able to access what the CEO make per month, or Nero maybe discussing with some internal matters with my boss, but I cannot access the file like the Nero and my boss discussed. So you don't have to worry about the privacy issue or internally leaking the files. You don't rest. We can guarantee that that is not a problem. And a couple of questions are raised about the SME grants. Let me answer you. So Ken O. Quake asked about how is increasing count for Copilot Live Care after the approval. Say like if you purchase 3 licenses now to try it out, and maybe you want to purchase more. The SME grant is first come first served and capped for 50 licenses, meaning 50 email accounts from the company. So you purchase 3 for now. From my knowledge, it is not you cannot double purchase. So we advise you to maybe make up your mind and obtain the SME grant as soon as possible, because it's the window is until November this year, and the SME is qualified SMEs only have 200 employees. Like the staff only need 200 employees, and it's available for 50 email accounts. So I think it's very it's a great deal, and you should obtain it as soon as possible. And another question is about will the Copilot be prorated based on existing M365 licenses expiry date? It won't, because if you're using the grant, then the Copilot is accounted for 365 days. So it's not going to, it's not bundled with your current M365 plan, meaning that you purchase the Copilot licenses right now and activate it on July 4th, you can use it till July 4th next year. But if you are not having the M365, you have to keep in mind, you have to have the Microsoft 365 business basic or above. Like you have to have that in your enterprise. Then you can obtain the Copilot. Okay, I hope that answered your question. And another question from John. My account formerly with Singtel has expired, and I bought a new M365 Business Basic from your company. But so far I got nothing. So can I set up the Copilot account? How to solve it? The Copilot has to be embedded or be added on the Microsoft 365 business standard plan. So you have to have that. So you have the company tenant. With the tenant, we can add the Copilot on your tenant. So firstly, you have to have the Microsoft Business 365 business, at least basic. Then you can add on the Copilot license. I advise John to maybe I can call you later after this webinar, and we can work it on later on how to help you obtain a Copilot as soon as possible. And another question from Ravi is a Copilot license on top of the 365 license or part of it? On top of it is Copilot is like embedded on Microsoft ecosystem. Nero has demonstrated before, like you can use Excel, and PowerPoint, Word, Outlook, and it is embedded on your current existing Office tools. So you have to have the Microsoft 365 license, then you can use Copilot. Another question from Ravi. So the SME grant is only for Copilot and doesn't include 365 as well? Yes, it is only for Copilot. It doesn't include with the 365 deal. If you want to ask more, then maybe I can call you individually. Okay, so I hope that wrap it up, and I hope we answer all of your questions. And Nero, thank you for the brilliant presentation once again.
And yeah, before the end of the sharing, I have just shared form, the feedback form, and I maybe share again the QR code. I just want to collect some feedback from the participants so that we can improve further for the next sharing next webinar. And please fill the form if you have time, or maybe scan the QR code to fill out the form. Okay, the cost of the Copilot. So right now, the cost for each license should be $30, and you need to subscribe annually. And there's no limit, though minimum license required for subscription.
Okay, Jerry, for your question, I can send you the quotation afterwards. Maybe you can better understand on when utilizing it, how much would it cost for your company. Okay, that's about all. Thank you all for joining in.
Thank you
Nero,
again.
yeah, thank you for everything. And please scan the QR code and leave your feedback to us so we can enhance for the future webinars. Thank you all for joining this afternoon, and thank you, Nero, for everything once again. Thank you.
Thank you.